Breaking news, breaking news. Sean P. Diddy Combs' mother, Janice Combs, has finally spoken out.
What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
His life too much, and so I stepped in there to help adopt and raise.
That's what I say. Evil is everywhere. That's a public service announcement. Beware.
Kamora Lee is back in the public eye after calling out Diddy's mom, Janice Combs, for how she allegedly treated his daughters, Jessie and Delilah. Kimora isn't staying quiet. She claims Janice has been using the girls for years, getting them, ready for a lifestyle that's far from normal, and slowly introducing them to older men they shouldn't be around. Even worse, Diddy reportedly knew what was going on, but didn't do anything to stop it. People are now saying the girls are so affected by everything that the idea of going to college scares them. They barely made it through their high school graduation. Now they're dealing with something even more serious: the risk of becoming homeless. If Diddy loses his legal battle, the government could take everything he owns, since his wealth is tied to what people are calling his freak-off activities. The situation is getting more serious by the day, but Kimora isn't letting this slide. These are the children of her closest friend, and she refuses to let them be abandoned because of their father's actions. She's doing everything she can to support them and hold Janice Combs responsible for what happened. So, what exactly did Kimora say about Diddy and Janice? And is she really planning to take custody of the girls? Let's get into the details.
Attention to when this lawsuit was launched is probably like a couple years ago. You'll notice that that's when all of these attacks started coming from my ex.
Diddy may be the one facing charges right now, but the whole Combs family is being watched closely, and people online have noticed that Jessie and Delilah seem to be struggling the most. The twins have been appearing in court with their siblings and other family members to show support, but reports say this is all part of a plan by Diddy's PR team and legal advisors to present a united, happy family image. In truth, the pressure is tearing the family apart, and it's hitting the girls especially hard. Listening to disturbing details about the crimes Diddy is accused of has been incredibly painful for them. According to sources, Chance, Jessie, and Delilah had to leave the courtroom multiple times, particularly when a former escort gave graphic testimony about things Diddy made him do with Cassie during one of the alleged FOS events. Anyone would be shocked to hear such stories about their own father. But for two 18-year-olds who lost their mom in a tragic way, it's even more heartbreaking. What makes it worse is realizing this was the kind of world their dad, and possibly their grandmother, Janice, had been getting them ready for. After Kim's passing, Janice stepped in as a mother figure to Christian and the twins. But it wasn't a smooth or comforting transition. Unlike Kim, Janice reportedly pushed Christian to follow Diddy's path and encouraged the girls toward a lifestyle far too mature for their age. This lines up with long-standing rumors about Janice's influence on Diddy. His upbringing was rough. As a child, he witnessed violence and inappropriate behavior that shaped how he saw life. His father, Melvin Combs, was a feared gang leader in Harlem, known for torturing and even killing people in front of young Sean. In a 2006 documentary, Diddy admitted that learning about his father's criminal life and violent death completely shifted how he saw himself.
Growing up, my mother always told me that he had got killed in a car accident. I always thought there was something funny about the story, because whenever I was in the street or around like street hustlers or street people, they would always try to give me money or always treat me with respect. So I was like, was my father a gangster? Why do people fear my father, or fear the name? I kept on hounding my family, and nobody would really tell me. They said, you gotta really talk to your mother about it. And so my first time in college, I did the research, and the research had showed me that my father was like, his brains blown out like on Central Park West. And my mother, I remember they said that my mother had brought me to the funeral on a full-length chinchilla. And it was like a sigh of relief, you know what I'm saying? Because I finally knew that what I was feeling was true, you know what I'm saying? That I was the son of a hustler or a gangster.
During all of this, Janice was too focused on being Melvin's partner to protect Diddy from the chaos around them. She was said to be very strict with him and didn't seem to care that he was being picked on by older kids when he was growing up. After Melvin died, things only got worse. Janice had to juggle several jobs just to survive. By day, she worked as a teaching assistant and drove a school bus. But at night, she reportedly worked as an escort. Sources claim she would bring clients into their home and even let young Diddy witness what went on. this had a serious effect on how he grew up seeing women, especially those in his own family.
Diddy's mom is now being accused of having freak-off parties in front of Diddy when he was a kid. And honestly, now hearing this, I'm really not surprised because I always felt like Janice Combs knew more than what she is leading on. Diddy's childhood best friend is claiming that Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, would often throw wild parties at his childhood home where it wasn't uncommon to walk into a room where adults were having physical relations. Diddy's childhood friend feels like this could be a reason why Diddy found himself at the center of a federal racketeering and trafficking investigation, where he is accused of forcing his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura to participate in freak-offs. He said, "I've been asked the questions, why do you think this happened to Diddy?" And he said, "I don't know the answer to why, but I truly believe it all goes back to his childhood."
Diddy openly shared that during his younger years, he got caught up in something that felt like an addiction and affected his mindset. He also mentioned that his childhood ended too early, at just 12 years old.
This was the first time when I was 12. I used to watch this thing called Midnight Blue. It's like this porno channel here in New York. So the first time I had sex, I wasn't scared. I remember it felt so good to me.
But it gets even worse. There have been some troubling rumors about Diddy and his mom Janice. And it's not just the usual family drama. People are saying their relationship might go beyond the normal mother-son bond, and not in a good way. Some believe Janice was the one who introduced Diddy to his so-called freak-offs, and they supposedly took part in those sessions with others. Things really heated up when an old video started going around again. It shows Diddy kissing Janice on the mouth, but that's not even the part that shocked people the most. In the video, both Diddy and Janice are hooked up to IV bags, and Diddy says they're recharging. This caught attention because Cassie had already mentioned that Diddy gave her IV fluids to help her bounce back from days-long freak-offs. Another thing that stood out? Janice was wearing white nail polish, something Cassie said Diddy insisted on before these sessions. He reportedly wanted white nails or French tips to make her hands stand out when she was with the male escorts he hired. That's not all. It looks like Diddy picked up more than a few habits from his mom, including involving his kids in some questionable and illegal things. Otherwise, how do you explain the fact that both of his sons, Justin and Christian, were named in lawsuits against him? Christian even has a separate case with accusations that sound disturbingly similar to the ones Diddy is facing. It's like he followed in his father's footsteps. And sadly, the girls weren't spared either. Rumors say Janice didn't just step in to care for the twins after Kim Porter died, she also started prepping them to become assets for Diddy one day. So, when they ran out of the courtroom in tears after hearing some of the testimonies, it wasn't just because they were hurt. Some say they were triggered, thinking that could have been their reality too if Diddy hadn't been arrested. Maybe it hit them that the rumors about their mom going through the same abuse as Cassie could actually be true. The beatings, the freak-offs, the secret surgeries to repair the damage, and the constant watching, even though Diddy's kids appear. Calm and supportive in public, sources say it's all part of a legal and PR strategy. Behind closed doors, they might be trying to distance themselves before everything completely falls apart. After finishing high school, Jesse and Delilah announced they wouldn't be going to college. They said they wanted to focus on their clothing brand and get into business instead. But insiders believe the real reason is more personal. These last couple of years have been so tough that the idea of going to college and possibly facing judgment or weird reactions from classmates because of Diddy's legal problems just doesn't feel possible right now. The only comfort in all of this is that the girls still have someone who's always been there for them, their mom's best friend, Kimora Lee. She's tried her best to keep the promise she made to Kim before she passed. Kimora promised to always protect and look after the kids. In her touching tribute at Kim's memorial, Kimora wrote, "At your homegoing celebration today, it became all too real that you are not coming back. I cannot stop crying, but I will be strong for you. Gone way too soon. I am in shock." She called Kim her sister and said that between them, they have 8 kids who are cousins. She promised they would always be family and that she would care for Kim's kids. But Diddy and Janice haven't made it easy. Reports say they've done everything they can to keep Kamora away, especially from the twins. They knew if the girls spent more time with Kamora, they'd start asking questions about their past and about what really happened to their mom.
I'm not really sure, but I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. Again, like I'm sitting here with my kids in my house. Easy to find me, not running, not hiding, not, not doing any of that. And so to have these constant attacks is just kind of crazy.
And it didn't stop at just telling staff to block Kimora from seeing the kids or keeping her children from spending time with them. Reports claim Kimora was also bullied and threatened repeatedly, which led her to step away from social media and stay out of the public eye for a while. She eventually returned online after Cassie filed her lawsuit and posted a cryptic message on her Instagram story that read, "As you sow, so shall you reap." But here's the shocking part. Just days after that post, Kimora's house suddenly caught fire while she and her kids were still inside.
Young Kamora Lee Simmons' house then caught on fire, and people are blaming Diddy. We put the word out said, be careful, Kimora. We warned her, and Lord, her house actually caught on fire. This is amazing. Keep it out.
Thankfully, no one was injured, but Kimora clearly understood the message. Someone wanted her to back off from Diddy's drama and stop showing support for Cassie. Kimora recognized the signs right away because this wasn't the first time Diddy had used threats. Back in a 2004 interview with New York Magazine,